Hello students, this will be again my third video in my channel. So this time I start the GI system whole so that the viscera should be the cover, and it should be the very important for all the syllabus in the MBBS as well the BDS, so that all the viscera should be the complete, and the last video should be the anterior abdominal wall and rectus, which is another very important topic. So if you see the viscera, so there will be the mainly, if you see that, suppose this is the one person, so there will be the oral cavity, this is the some of the salivary glands, this will be the descending downwards, and there will be a loop, this is the elevation, and there will be the transverse duodenum, and this duodenum will be the now loop and loop formation, and they will be the descending downwards to formation of the large intestine. So first, what are these parts of your GI system will be the formation? There will be the first, in the oral cavity, there is the mouth. In the mouth or the oral cavity, there is a tongue, there is the teeth, and the salivary glands. Secondly, there will be the pharynx. Thirdly, esophagus. Fourth, stomach. Fifth, there will be the small intestine. This small intestine will have the three parts: duodenum, there is ileum, and the jejunum. Sixth, there will be the large intestine, and this will be having the three organs again, three parts actually. They are the colon, and there will be the anal canal, and these are very important topics for our discussion. And moreover, there is some accessory organs are there. This is the liver, and there will be also the pancreas, and this will be the pancreas. So in my upcoming videos, the whole of the GI tract should be the cover. I tried, but first we should start from the very beginning. So first topic is the tongue. Now, what are the presenting parts of the tongue? The gross anatomy of the tongue. This tongue will have the apex, it will be having a base, it will be having the surfaces and the borders. Okay, now suppose this is your tongue. Now this is the apex and this is the base. Now the surfaces of the tongue. Actually, this tongue will have this is the anterior surface, and this is the posterior surface. Anterior surface and posterior surface. What are the borders? Now this is the lateral border, and suppose this is another border. Okay, so what will be, how does the anterior border, the anterior surface, how will it form? This is the anterior surface is divided into two parts. By the one part will be the posterior 1/3, and this is the another part is the anterior 2/3. How does the posterior 1/3 or anterior 2/3? Okay, so this is the anterior 2/3 part, this is the posterior 1/3 part. Clear? So I draw, if you see that, I draw this demarcating line. What is this demarcating line? This demarcating line is called sulcus terminalis. Sulcus terminalis. It is the inverted V-shaped line. Now, how does this sulcus will originate? If you see the embryology, suppose this is a tongue. So this is your sulcus terminalis. These parts, anterior 2/3, will formed by the first branchial arch, the tubercular impart, and there will be another structure. There will be another structure there. It is called the foramen of cecum. Foramen of cecum. What is this foramen of cecum? In this foramen of cecum, from this foramen of cecum, there will be the thyroglossal duct will be get originated. What? Thyroglossal duct. Thyroglossal duct will be getting originated. So, is this foramen of cecum. Now, so what are the structures you will be find? So, this posterior one third how does form? It is the posterior one third will be the formed by the your third branchial arch. It is formed by the third branchial arch. So, here will be the two parts. One is the posterior one third, anterior two third. For anterior two third will formed by the first branchial arch. Posterior one third formed by the third branchial arch. And the demarcating line is called what? Sulcus terminalis. What is the foramen? Foramen of cecum. How does it will form? Thyroglossal duct. So these are the mandatory you will be must have to know. Okay. Now this sulcus anterior two third is the rough surface. Okay. This anterior two third have some papillas are there. Papilla is the mucosal folding actually, and it is mainly the non-keratinized epithelium. Non-keratinized epithelium. Now, what are the papillas are there? There are 4 papillas are there. Foliate papilla, filiform papilla, fungiform papilla, and the circumvallate papilla. Where does these papillas are found, and what are the few points? If the question asks, what are the few points you must have to know? Foliate papilla is the largest papilla, and it is the absent in case of the human. It is a rudimentary actually. Filiform papilla, it is the whole it is a keratinized papilla. Okay, so it is the non-keratinized surface is the papilla is non-keratinized, but it is the keratinized papilla. Except this filiform papilla is the exception. Fungiform papilla, globular shaped papilla, globular shaped papilla. Circumvallate papilla, 8 to 10 in number, and there is a most blood supply will be there. Where does this papilla? Suppose this is the anterior two third, and this is the sulcus terminalis. Okay, this is the sulcus terminalis, and this is the anterior two third part. This is the anterior two third part, and this is the sulcus terminalis. Now, this is the tip or this is the apex. Now, in the apex, and there will be the lateral border, there will be find the your filiform papilla. What papilla? Filiform papilla. In the center, there will be the fungiform papilla, and 8 to 10 most bloodish near the sulcus terminalis. Here, this is the circumvallate papilla. Now, what will be you seeing? What are the structures you will be seeing? The posterior one third, there will be nothing more than this. You will be find the lingual tonsil. Suppose this is the your posterior one third. Okay, so there will be some lingual tonsils are there. Foramen of cecum, behind there lingual tonsil. So this is the dorsum of tongue. Is very very important. A 10 marks long note. How does the dorsum of tongue will be the form? This is these two structures you must have to know. The demarcating structures and your histological structures are some are there, and this main anatomical structure. Okay, so now the posterior surface. Suppose this is one man, and here this is the your anterior surface. So this is the suppose this is the your tooth. Okay, so this is the anterior surface. How much I will be the talk about now this anterior surface. Now you will be moved towards your posterior surface. How does will you will go? The posterior surface. Now in the posterior surface, suppose this is the your posterior part of the tongue, and this is the tongue, posterior part of the tongue. There will be a structure which will be joined the floor of the mouth, and this is called the lingual frenum. Lingual frenum. There will be the opening of the submaxillary salivary gland. There is the opening of submaxillary salivary gland, and there will be another opening of your lingual vein. Lingual vein. What will be the clinical aspect of this lingual vein? In case of the cardiovascular diseases, the patient should have to advise that take the oral medicine in below the tongue. Why? Because if you put the medicine there will be in this lingual vein, through this lingual vein, the medication, the chemicals will be passes through directly, and that's why the lingual vein, due to this lingual vein, patient should always advise to keep the medication below the posterior surface of the tongue, and this is the submaxillary salivary glands opening. Clear? These are the structures are usually found in the posterior surface of the tongue. What are the three structures? Lingual vein, frenum, and the submaxillary salivary gland. What is the duct? Is known as the Wharton's duct. It's called the Wharton's duct. Clear? Okay. Next question should be asked generally. What are the muscles of the tongue? If you see, the muscles of the tongue are what are the muscles? At first I write. So this is the genioglossus. There is the hyoglossus. There is a styloglossus. And there will be the palatoglossus and the chondroglossus. Okay. So these I must have to mention, these are the extrinsic muscles, means from the tongue to the various other structures, like genio means this is the genial tubercle. Where you will find the genial tubercle? In the mandible you will find the genial tubercle. Hyo means hyoid bone. Stylo means styloid process. Palato means palate. Okay. And chondro, this is the hyoid cartilage actually. The cartilage is part of the hyoid. So these are what are the where to the glossus. Anything glossus. Glossus term means there is a tongue. Glossus term means tongue. So what are the parts you must have to know from the each and the every extrinsic muscles? There are origin, insertion, nerve, and their action. Okay. Genioglossus. The name itself suggests you how does you will be write the origin and the insertion. First origin, second the insertion. Genio, genial tubercle. Now, if you see the genial tubercle, there are two groups of genial tubercle, upper and the lower. It is originated from the upper genial tubercle. If you remember this, then you should be apply this upper term. If you not, so then not should be apply this term. Insertion. Insertion should be the glossus. Means there is actually this genioglossus is a fan-shaped muscle. I draw the diagram, then you will see is a fan-shaped muscle. So it will be having the hyoid bone insertion, and it will be also having the insertion on your tongue. What will be the nerve supply? All are supplied by the hypoglossal nerve. And the action should be the suppose this is the mandible, the anterior part. So here will be the genioglossus. So this will be the anteriorly will the pull, anterior pull. So this anterior pull is known as a protrusion of tongue. Now, what will be the clinical aspect of this genioglossus? Genioglossus is known as the safety muscle of tongue. If the genioglossus is not, suppose in case of your anesthetics for your tongue, the surgeon must have to use a clip for your tongue, because if it is not, because the genioglossus is your now paralyzed. So there will be the retraction of tongue, and your pharynx will be the wobble out with your tongue. So the patient automatically will die down. So the genioglossus is the safety muscle, because if the genioglossus is not, this palatoglossus causes the retraction, the posterior pull of the tongue, and automatically the patient will die down. That's why this is called the safety muscle of tongue. It's very, very important terminology, the safety muscle of tongue. Next, hyoglossus, hyoid bone, and towards the glossus, towards the tongue, and this is the 12th cranial nerve. And what is the function of the hyoglossus? Below hyoid, suppose if I draw the lateral view, this is the tongue, this is the your mandible, this is the tongue, this is the styloid process, this is the palate, this is the hyoid. So this fiber is the your genioglossus fiber. Hyoglossus, this fiber, hyoglossal fiber. Okay. So if you arrow, put just arrow will be the see what the action. So this will be the backward motion of the tongue, posterior movement of tongue. Now this styloglossus, styloid process is above. Okay, so if you put the arrow, the upward movement of tongue. What will be the origin insertion? Styloid process is the, so what will be the part of the styloid process? The styloid process in the anterior and the medial part of styloid process. And this is the, and this will be the your tongue and the 12th cranial nerve. There is the next the palatoglossus. Okay, this palatoglossus is the originated from the palate, the palatine aponeurosis actually, palatine aponeurosis towards the glossus means tongue. Okay, and interestingly this palatoglossus is the palate from the originated from the palate. Okay, so it is the innervated by the your 11th cranial nerve. And what will be the movement? Posteriorly it will be the pull. And the conchoglossus, it is originated from the hyoid bone towards the glossus means tongue, 12th cranial nerve, and not so many function will be there. Okay, so this is the must have to draw this chart. Okay, for every muscle, these 4 points: origin, insertion, nerve, and action. Okay, how does you will be the draw the diagram? Suppose this is your tongue, styloid process, and this is the genial tubercle, this is the teeth. Okay, now, and this is the your hyoid bone. What are structures you will draw? Hyoid, styloid, tongue, and the mandible. Clear? Now, from the hyoid to the tongue, so there will be the, what will be the muscle will be there? This is the muscle. Be there. Hyoglossus muscle. What will be the muscle from the mandible to tongue to the hyoid? Mention styloglossus muscle. Sorry, genioglossus muscle. Genioglossus muscle. Hyoid towards the your styloid process. Stylohyoid muscle. Stylohyoid muscle towards the hyoglossus. This is the another muscle. This is called the styloglossus muscle. And if the you will be the also apply this diagram for your submandibular region, there will be the external carotid artery, internal carotid artery. From the external carotid artery, there will be the passes the your lingual artery. There passes the lingual artery. What structure? This is the lingual artery. Okay, the external carotid artery, internal carotid artery. And what are the intrinsic muscle? Means intrinsic muscle means these are originated from the tongue and insertion at the tongue, tongue to tongue. Okay, so these are transverse muscle, vertical muscle, longitudinal muscle. And there will be the, what are the action? During the deglutition, there is a change in the shape of the tongue is their action. So, and another will be the structure must have done. There is a submandibular salivary gland. This is the submandibular salivary gland. So that your whole the submandibular region should be the cover in this diagram. Okay. So the next topic, how does the lymphatic drainage of the tongue? This lymphatic drainage of the tongue, suppose this is the tongue. Okay. There is a two types of lymphatic channel, intrinsic and the extrinsic. Intrinsic and the extrinsic. Extrinsic will be the go to the submandibular, jugulo-omohyoid, jugulo-digastric and the submental lymph node. And the submental lymph node. So how does will it go? From the anterior surface most over, from the anterior surface, from the tip it will be go towards the submandibular and the submental lymph node. Okay. From the this part anterior, this is the anterior 2/3. This is the posterior 1/3. What is the demarcating line? This is the sulcus terminalis. Okay. So another again, it will be the divide the anterior 2/3. It will be go towards the jugulo-digastric, jugulo-omohyoid. Posterior 1/3, it will be the piercing the mylohyoid muscle. Then go to the jugulo-digastric and the jugulo-omohyoid. Now this posteriorly, it will be moved towards the your submandibular salivary, submandibular lymph node and the jugulo-digastric lymph node. Jugulo-digastric lymph node. Meaning ki there will be the jugulo-digastric and the submandibular lymph node. Okay. So this is the another again important channel. How does will the your lymphatic drainage will be the occur? Okay. Mention the venous drainage, lingual vein. Mention the arterial supply, lingual artery, and now this time the lymph. Lymph is another a very important short node purpose. Okay, for especially if your tongue surface. These 4 lymph node and how does will form? Intrinsic. Intrinsic actually will form. There is a channel and there will actually the a lymph node in the within the tongue. Okay, in the if your tongue there will be another lymph node. So within this lymph node itself there will be the your lymph will be the drainage will be the occur. Okay, so this is the very important topic for the your lymphatic channel of the tongue. The next important structure is the nerve supply. For the nerve supply, it is very important because there is a various branchial arches that involve the formation of the tongue. So suppose this is your embryo. It will be the cross section of this embryo now this time. Okay, so how does will it occur? There will be the I think you should know what will be the branchial arches and what are the number of the branchial arches. There are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 branchial arch. Among them, 5th one is the rudimentary and the soon disappear. So this is the first branchial arch, second branchial arch, third branchial arch, fourth branchial arch, and the 6th branchial arch. Now, this first branchial arch is also known as the mandibular arch, and this is called the hyoidal arch. Another is no name. From the first branchial arch, there is a 2 swelling, 2 lateral swelling are there. This is called the tubercular impart. Tubercular impart. Okay, and from here there is the foramen. This is the I mentioned thyroglossal duct. Now this thyroglossal duct will be the originating from this here. Okay, this is the thyroglossal duct. Tubercular impart. In the third branchial arch, there is a copula of the His. There will be the copula of His. What structure? Copula of His. And in the fourth branchial arch, there will be another structure. The structure. So what are the structure you will be the find? You will be find that there will be the two tubercular impart. There is the copula of the his, and there will be the one epiglottic part. One epiglottic part. Okay, epiglottic part. Now, how does? Now this time there will be the fusion of this. This is the fused. This is the fuse, and this structure will be the fuse. Now, how does will it form? This is the part of your anterior 2/3 part. This is the part of the posterior 1/3, and this is the base, and this is the root or the base of the tongue. Okay, so there is a demarcating line. What is the line? Anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3 demarcating line. Yes, this is the tuber. This is the sulcus terminalis. What is this foramen? This is the foramen. Is the your foramen of cecum. So, what should be the nerve supply for here? For the first branchial arch, there will be the two types of nerves. So there will be the again here also the two types of nerve. Suppose if you draw a general sketch, the nerve supply, there will be the two types of nerve supply. One will be the motor nerve supply and the sensory nerve supply. Sensory nerve supply is the two general sensation and there is a special senses. Motor nerve supply, all the muscles except the palatoglossus, 12th cranial nerve, and in the palatoglossus, 11th cranial nerve to the pharyngeal plexus formation. And the general sensation for the first branchial arch are the anterior 2/3, first branchial arch, posterior 1/3, the third branchial arch, and there is the root, there will be the fourth branchial arch. There will be the lingual nerve, and there will be the chorda tympani nerve. There will be the glossopharyngeal nerve, and there is another glossopharyngeal nerve. What is the number? 9th cranial nerve. What is the root? There will be the vagus nerve, internal laryngeal nerve actually, the vagus nerve. So you will be asked why the second branchial arch is not involved? If you see the lateral view, suppose you will draw the lateral view, okay? So you see that there is the first, the second will be getting the budded in between these two structure. This is the third, and this part will be the fourth branchial arch. So what are their structure? First branchial arch, third branchial arch, and the fourth branchial arch. What are the nerves? Lingual nerve and chorda tympani nerve. Okay, pre-tympani, post-tympani. What are the clinical applied? You will be the applied aglossia, hypoglossia, hyperglossia, absence of tongue, there is a less tongue, and the hyper will be the part of the tongue. So, and the bifid tongue is also very important. Some person, this fusion is the knot, suppose. So, there will be the bifid tongue will be there, which is the another very embryological will be the very defect. This is the most common in case of the whole tongue. So, this is the video for today, and I think you will also should enjoy the video. Okay, thank you for watching for the whole video.